Kings and queens, and welcome to the video version of my journal. I'm Steffanie Rivers. Come on in to the conversation. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to get ready to share my screen with you, which I should have done this already, but I didn't. So, thanks again for being here. Welcome to the conversation. You're watching my TriCast on YouTube and Facebook Live and LinkedIn. So if this is your first time with us, we want to welcome you. And if you are returning, we want to welcome you back. We all probably by now have heard that Derek Chauvin has been sentenced for the modern day lynching of George Floyd. And I want to get your comments on what you think about the 22 and a half year sentence that was handed down just hours ago. I know I have thoughts on that and I want to share that with you. But before we get to that, just wanted to talk to you about another issue. So again, welcome to the conversation. Feel free to comment. And as we go through the stream, if you have a question and I see the question, I'll be sure to address it. But first, I wanted to start with this. I mentioned to you a couple of months ago that I'm an Uber driver. It's one of my many streams of income. And the other day, I picked up a rider, and immediately when the rider got into my car in the back seat, I smelled marijuana, the skunk smell of marijuana. And it's not because I smoke marijuana that I know what it smells like. And it's not that I have anything against anyone who smokes weed, but it's not something that I do. But I've smelled it enough that I know weed when I smell it. And so as long as it doesn't affect my business, then, that's your business, what you do. But as an Uber driver, when I have people in my car, I take care of how the car is presented, how it smells, how it looks. So to have somebody getting in there smelling like a weed head, after he got out, I had to make sure that I roll down the windows, that I spray my little smell good stuff, that I made sure that the car didn't take on that odor. Because again, right when you come in the presence of somebody who smokes weed, it doesn't take you long to realize, to know you smell like weed. So after that guy got out, I did all that I had to do to try to air out the car because I was going to pick up the next passenger. And so as a precaution, or as a what's it called? I just call it precaution, a preemptive strike. That's what I was thinking of. As a preemptive strike, when I got to the next pickup, I told the rider when he got in, I said, hey, if you smell weed, it's not me. It was the previous rider. And I just wanted to let you know that if you smell that, that I apologize because I tried to air it out. He said he didn't smell it, but I didn't want for him to get in there, get in the car and thinking that I was driving under the influence and then give me, a grade or rating that affected my stellar rating, because I have a stellar rating. So I wanted to protect that. So again, if you smoke weed, or let's say if you don't smoke weed and you come into contact with somebody who smokes weed or smells like weed, immediately. It doesn't take 10 minutes for it to hit your nose or grow on you. Immediately. It don't take 5 minutes. It's like right when they pass you, you smell what's going on. So when I learned about this guy in Seminole County, Florida, his name is Rocky Money Rudolph. He's charged with attempted murder of a Florida deputy sheriff after a traffic stop. I wanted to know, how did this incident go from a traffic stop for, they stopped him according to the paperwork, they stopped him because he had tinted windows that were too dark for the regulations in Florida or in that county. And so and then it ends up with Rocky Money Rudolph being charged with attempted murder. How did it go from tinted window stop to attempted murder charge? So that's what I wanted to know. And it happened a few years ago. You might have already known about it, but it's coming up again because Rocky Money Rudolph has been held without bond for the last 2 years on this attempted murder charge. So before we get into showing you any pictures or any video, I am doing so under the 1976 a 1976 Copyright Act, which says I can show you copyrighted information for the purposes of discussion and commentary and critiquing and educating. So we're going to be doing some of that today. And again, if you're new to the chat, if you're new to my YouTube channel, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you will be the first to know. So let's see. I was trying to get that together. So and while I'm getting that together, for the stop that is in question from the time that this deputy sheriff pulled over Rocky Money Rudolph. From the time he pulled him over, it was 11 minutes. It went for 11 minutes on the side of the road. It was an extended version of a stop. The Seminole County deputy's name is Aaron Blyce. Okay, so when he pulled over Rocky Money Rudolph, and I'm about to show you. All right. When he pulled him over, it was for his windows being tinted, and trying to play the video. I'm going to turn. Okay, so I'm cutting down because I just want to show you that this is Rocky in the car. That's the police officer. This is an 11-minute video. And if you want to see the whole video, the name of it is Rocky Money Rudolph Jr. Video Upcoming Case. And so there's 2 versions of the video. It's the video of the cop cam, dash cam, that's in the little corner, and then there's also the cop cam on the deputy's shoulder. So, and that is Rocky Money Rudolph. And this is an 11-minute stop, and as you can see, they're laughing and talking and doing all kind of stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go back to me. So that's what was going on. And I'll try to bring you a picture of Aaron Blyce, but be sure to look up that video so you can see the whole 11 minutes, because I don't want to show you the whole 11 minutes here, but I'm going to show you parts of it. So during the whole time of the stop, they were laughing and talking about where Rocky works and how Rocky had just dropped somebody off at Walmart and a few minutes ago, and that the deputy sheriff actually saw Rocky at the Walmart before he pulled him over. So all of this BS stuff, going back and forth, laughing and talking about Rocky's name and how that's so cool, this, that, and the third. So it looks like that Rocky is just going to, for the first 7 to 8 minutes, they're going back and forth. Rocky is pulling out his ID. He had his valid driver's license with him. He had his registration with him, but he didn't have a paper copy of his insurance. So a few more minutes because the deputy was allowing Rocky to pull up his insurance card on his phone and all of that. So he had all of that paperwork that he had to pull up, and they were laughing and talking the whole time. So it looks like Rocky, after everything, laughing and talking, getting his paperwork all in order, it looks like Rocky is about to drive off with just a simple tinted window minor infraction ticket. But you're wrong. We would be wrong. Because first of all, that's the reason why the deputy gave for pulling Rocky over. But what really is happening is that this deputy Aaron Blyce, he wants to do more than that. This cop is fishing for something more. So he used the tinted window claim to pull Rocky over, because that's what they do. I read a book called Talking with Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell, and it went into this issue that I'm about to talk about in detail. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to make it short for you, and I'm going to put it in the chat. Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. So in that book, Malcolm Gladwell just essentially talked about the process of police traffic stops. What they do is they try to catch you doing something insignificant, but it's still a traffic violation. Like if you have your tint is too dark, or if you don't stop fully at the stop sign, or you don't stop fully when the light turns red and you go through it, they can stop you. Or if you change lanes and you don't signal that you change lanes. So they really don't care that you did those minor things. What they care about is stopping you so they can check your ID and see, do you have warrants? They can see who's in the vehicle. They get to look in the vehicle. They get to smell in the vehicle. They get to see what else is going on. What else can they charge you with that's more of an offense than a simple, oh, you didn't put on your blinker when you change lanes. So stay with me because I'm doing this analyzing, and I'm gonna get to Derek Chauvin in a few minutes. So again, that video of the full 11 minutes, the name of it is Rocky Money Rudolph Jr. video, upcoming case. So be sure to go and look at that video, and then go ahead and like and share and subscribe to this video. So the next time that I post, you'll be the first to know. So again, for the first 7 minutes, it's all about the window tint. And it's all about where Rocky works, and it's all about how the deputy saw him at the Walmart. So family, that deputy already had run Rocky's tags before he stopped him. And because that's how they work. I know. As a matter of fact, I used to date a former deputy sheriff in Florida. As a matter of fact, in the Tampa area, he worked in Tampa. I don't know where Tampa is in relation to Seminole County, but anyway, he would tell me some stuff. But that's what they do. They stop you for various minor things so they can pick up on big things. The reason why he chose to, and if you go look at that whole 11-minute video, this deputy targeted is a better word, targeted Rocky Money Rudolph for that stop because he had already run his tags. He knew that Rocky Money Rudolph had a prior record or conviction or whatever it was. He had a police record already. So he was like, okay, I'm about to get him. So he watched him do whatever he was doing at Walmart. Rocky said he dropped off a friend. He let him come out of Walmart 2 or 3 miles down the street. Now he stops him because this dude, this deputy, is trying to send Rocky back to jail. That's what they do. They pick and choose who they're gonna pull over and how they're gonna pull them over and what they want in the end of that. It had nothing to do with tinted windows. And let me say this on the tint. There are certain rules and laws, of course, from county to county or maybe state to state on how dark your tint can be. So buying a vehicle that already has tint, that's up to you to determine, is it legal or illegal. Getting tint done to your vehicle is up to you to determine if it's legal or illegal. People gonna sell you stuff and get the money and go on about their business. They don't care whether you get caught up in that situation. So we know Rocky should have known whether his tint was legal or illegal. Now that I've said that. So now let's go back to this trick bag that Deputy Aaron Blythe was trying to put Rocky in. So he spends 8 or 9 minutes talking to Rocky about tint on his window, laughing and talking. And then he comes up to him and says, "Why are you so nervous?" to Rocky. That's what the deputy says. So nervous? Rocky has been talking to this deputy for like 8 or 9 minutes at this point. And why would you now he's transitioning from "I'm your friend" to "I'm your foe and I'm about to get your ass." That's what's about to happen. So Rocky unfortunately didn't realize this until it was too late. So I already told you how deputies work. So they're trying to pull you over for something minor, and that's why you should always have your car compliant, whether you have brake lights. I was following behind somebody the other day, and clearly their brake lights did not work, and I did not have an opportunity to get around them to let them know, "Hey, your brake lights don't work," and they drove off, and hopefully nobody crashed into them, and hopefully nobody got hurt in that situation. But when I see people with minor things going on with their vehicle and I have a opportunity to tell them, I try to tell them, because I want to. Sometimes you don't know if your tag is hanging or if your tail light is broken or this, that, and the third, because you don't necessarily look around your car. And if it happened last week and you haven't walked around your car in a week, sometimes you don't know until the cops pull you over. And then now here you are with this police officer questioning you about something and you don't know nothing about it. So at any rate, getting back to this Rocky situation. So he asked Rocky 8 minutes into talking to him, "Why are you so nervous?" So that makes no sense, but that's an indication of where things are about to go. He's trying to throw stuff out there. He's fishing, trying to throw stuff out at Rocky. Let me see how he handles that. He handled the ID situation. He's got valid driver's license, insurance, and his car is registered. I got all that. So now, since he passed that test, I don't want to really just give him a ticket, because if it was about a tinted window ticket, Rocky would have been on his way already. But it wasn't about giving him a tinted window ticket. He wanted to give him something else. Now he's like, "Why are you so nervous, Rocky?" Rocky is like, "This is just how I am." Maybe his hand was shaking. From my vantage point of the video and everybody else's, because we are looking at the same video, there was no reason for him to even ask Rocky if he was nervous, because he had been laughing and talking, smoking a black and mild. So at this point, that's when he brings up, the deputy Aaron Blythe brings up, "Well, you know what? Let me ask you this. Do you have marijuana in the car?" Rocky is like, "No, I don't have marijuana in the car." So let me go back to this video, because now let me see if I can go. So they're laughing and talking. So laughing and talking. We at minute 2. We're at minute 3. They still laughing and talking. We're at minute 5. minute. So all this time you standing right here talking to this guy, and now all of a sudden, now you see Rocky's face. Now he's changing up on Rocky around 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in. So just trying to get my stuff together here. Okay, so we're going back to me. So now he's saying, asking Rocky, do you have weed in the car? You know, marijuana in the car. First, he asked Rocky, do you have a marijuana card? Rocky said, no, I don't have a marijuana card. He said, because I smell marijuana. So Rocky is saying, well, maybe it's my black and mild dude. I don't have no marijuana on me, because Rocky is now realizing, okay, he's about to flip the script on me all of a sudden. So then that's why you can't mistake a cop on the side of the road for being your friend, because he ain't your friend. He on the side of the road stopping you because he's trying to give you a ticket, because he's trying to get his quota together. He's trying to find some reason to shoot you. He's trying to find some reason for it to go left so he can have an opportunity to have a justified shooting / killing on the side of the road. That's what's up. So when you are stopped, if you have to be stopped, you need to have your tri-pack ready. You need to have your valid driver's license, your valid registration, your valid insurance. And if you have an LTC, a license to carry, a weapon, you need to also have that as a part of that tri-pack, and be ready to hand that over, and have your video rolling. Don't carry no conversation. Keep it professional so you can keep it moving. But Rocky realizes this too late, because the cop grabs Rocky's seatbelt and stands up on the running board of the vehicle. And so I'm going to show you that last part of what happens. So now, okay, so now he's, let me play this a little bit. I'm not gonna play the audio, just the video. Welcome. All right. Okay, so you saw how that ended. And it ended, if you didn't see, again, go back and look at the whole 11 minutes, because Rocky soon realizes, wait a minute, now you went from tinted windows and we laughing and talking to you asking me, am I nervous, to now you telling me you smell marijuana when you see me plain as day with a black and mild that I've been smoking on. So it's like, the cop eventually was thrown off of Rocky's vehicle. He wrapped his hand through Rocky's seatbelt. He told him to cut off the engine. That's when he pulled out his gun, and eventually he shot Rocky. He started shooting. The cop did, or the deputy did. He shot him, ended up shooting him just one time. And Rocky was later on caught after they put out the APB, all points bulletin, on Rocky Money Rudolph. And now here's the thing about escalation and de-escalation. If you already got his name and his photo and his information, and it's a minor marijuana charge, You could have, if he wanted to drive off, you already know where he lives, you already got his information. You can't de-escalate that. No, you gonna jump on the car, you gonna wrap yourself around his seatbelt, and then Rocky drives off, and eventually the deputy falls off. Now, some of you are saying, and I saw in some comments, well, Rocky, it was just a minor marijuana charge, dude. Why didn't you just let him do that? Because here's the thing, Rocky already had a record. We didn't know it at the time, but now we know after the fact. Rocky already had a record. For him to get a marijuana charge probably would send him back to jail. He wasn't trying to go back to jail because he didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't even have marijuana. So I don't know all about probation and parole issues, but I do know once you get out on probation/parole, you can't have no other charges or they're going to send you back to lockup. Rocky already knew that. This deputy already knew that. That's why he had already run his license, his information in the Walmart parking lot, followed him around, pulled him over for the tent. Now he trying to find a reason to give him something else besides tent. Oh, I smell marijuana. So now Rocky has been apprehended, and he was apprehended a day after that. This happened in 2019, and it's been 2 years now. His case is about to come up for trial. Is being held without bond. He was charged with first-degree attempted murder of a law enforcement officer. He was charged with assault on a law enforcement officer, and he was charged with aggravated battery of a law officer with violence. And so now I want to get to the Derek Chauvin sentencing, because when a civilian does something that the law considers to be egregious when it comes to law enforcement, oh, they throw the book at you. You all this, and you just ain't no good, and you can't get no bond, and we charging you with everything we can throw at you. But when a police officer, Derek Chauvin in this case, commits modern day lynching of a black man, George Floyd in this case, for witnesses on Main Street for all to see. Everybody saw the young lady, Danica, was that her name? Everybody saw Darnella Frazier. Everybody saw her video, viral video worldwide. And Derek Chauvin only gets 22 and a half years. And then the judge had the nerve to say, I'm not sentencing Derek Chauvin as what's the term? I'm not sentencing Derek Chauvin as a signal for anything. I'm not sentencing him as punishment for anything except for exactly what he did. So you mean to tell me everything that Derek Chauvin was found guilty of and did, and all that we saw him do, and the whole video is only worth 22 and a half years? And here's the thing on that. Derek Chauvin only has to serve 15 years of his 22 and a half year sentence before he's eligible for parole. Now we know he gonna serve 15 years in a day, and he probably ain't gonna serve that before he try to get released early. Okay, we know that. So 15 years in a day, this dude can be back out on the street. That is an example. That is telling us what the value of a black man's life is, or the lack of value a black man's life has in America in general, and Derek Chauvin and George Floyd in particular, specifically. That's what they think of us. 22 and a half years for all that he did to George Floyd, And all he's got to serve is 15 before he's eligible. And y'all know he gonna get out early. Y'all know that. He ain't gonna serve no 22 and a half years. And so we know this cop killer is probably going to serve 15 years in a day. Then he's going to get out and be walking the streets. And so now I'm going back to Rocky Money Rudolph. So he's charged with attempted murder of a cop. And unless he gets a really good attorney and he gets a jury that hears the evidence and sees the evidence and doesn't look at Rocky Money Rudolph as the scapegoat, because Derek Chauvin's judge said, "Oh, I'm not going to scapegoat you and make you the fall guy for everything that's wrong with the justice system." But they'll look at Rocky Money Rudolph and make him the scapegoat for everything that's wrong with Black people in America. That's what they'll do to him. But a white man can do the same thing to a cop and not be charged with murder. A white man can do the same thing that Rocky Money Rudolph did, drive off with the cop hanging on the side of your vehicle, and he's not charged with attempted murder. In fact, I'm gonna show you that video. As a matter of fact, while I'm doing the background on this, there was a guy who, and it happened just days after the sentencing or the conviction of Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis. This happened in another part of Minnesota. There was a guy who, let me try to pull it up. There was a guy who, all right, I got it ready, but I don't play it yet. This white guy went into like a Walmart or some type of, superstore, and they had face mask requirements. They told the dude, "Excuse me, sir, you need to put a mask on." The dude went off. He hit the employee, beat up the employee, assaulted the employee to the point they had to call the cops. So by the time the cops got there, the guy had gone out of the store, went to his truck, and was about to drive off. The cops went up to the truck, said, "Excuse me, sir." The man drives off on the cop. They get 2 or 3 cop cars, line up behind him, driving down the road, and then they finally get him to stop. There was somebody on the side of the road who videotaped this going on the side of the road. This white man, Minnesota man charged with assault. He was just charged with assault after dragging an officer with his vehicle. Exactly. The cop is on there. So I want to stop right there because this white dude did the same thing to a cop in Minnesota that Rocky Money Rudolph did to a cop in Florida. But the Black man, Rocky, is charged with attempted first-degree murder and attempted battery and with violence. But the white man just charged with assault. And he didn't get held without bond. He got to go home. He's sitting at home right now watching playoffs, basketball, or something. So if you haven't already done so, like, share, and subscribe. And I have Seal saying not guilty. Y'all got to feel me. Oh, okay. So you're saying Rocky Money Rudolph should be found not guilty. I agree, Seal. But it really depends on his defense. And here's what I want to go to next. The man who I'm gonna show you the person who is Rocky Money Rudolph's defense attorney. His name is Mark O'Mara. Now, you might not recognize Mark O'Mara's name, but Mark O'Mara was George Zimmerman's defense attorney. George Zimmerman, if you remember, was charged with the murder of Trayvon Martin in 2012, 2013, and was acquitted of that. Got away with murder, in my opinion. And a lot of people, a lot of Black people, we feel some kind of way about the man who defended George Zimmerman against murdering Trayvon Martin. But what I will say about O'Mara is that he did some stuff in defending George Zimmerman that got him off. Now, maybe he will do that same thing for Rocky Money Rudolph. Who's to say? But after O'Mara got involved with the case, with Rocky's case, at first Rocky didn't have an attorney. Mark O'Mara, this defense attorney in Florida, he only takes cases that he said he feels like have civil rights violation issues. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put his picture up here. That's him. So he was talking to the Black News Channel about Rocky Money Rudolph's defense. And so, he's essentially saying, look, how did it go from you stopped him for window tint issues to now you're smelling marijuana 10 minutes after you stopped him? That's my whole point, is that how can you, like I said, when you come into the presence of somebody who smell like weed, it hits your nose. It hits your nose just like that. So for you to be standing there for 10 minutes laughing and talking and he-heeing and kikiing with this man, and then all of a sudden you like, I smell marijuana. It doesn't jive. It doesn't make sense. And so even if you smelled it when you first got up there, why didn't you say something? You didn't smell it when you came up there because you lying, because you trying to catch him in a trick bag. And unfortunately, for Rocky, he is having to pay the price. And so hopefully this attorney, Mark O'Mara, can help him to his to get out of this situation by helping choose the best jurors for people who look like him, look like Rocky. And so my call to action to you is, if you find yourself pulled over on the side of the road, have your tri-pack ready. Have your valid license, driver's license, your valid registration, your valid insurance. And if you have a LTC, your license to carry, go ahead and show that to the law enforcement as well, because they're not your friend on the side of the road. They're your adversary. Don't chit chat with them. Don't make small talk with them. Keep it professional. Keep your video rolling. Have your video rolling. And if it turns left on you and you kind of don't understand what's going on, or they start trying to charge you with stuff, or asking you, are you nervous? Or now, oh, can we search your vehicle? You tell them, no, not without a search warrant. You can't search my vehicle. You're going to have time on your hands to fight for your rights. It's not going to be something quick, because then but here's what you need to do. You call for backup before they call for backup. When it starts going left, you say something like, you know what? I'm feeling kind of uneasy about how this stop is going, officer. I need you to call your supervisor. And let's see how that cop acts on the side of the road. Let's see how they do it. When you trump their card and you call for backup before they call for backup. So that's what I wanted to say. The value of a Black man in America is so dispensable according to most white people. And we have to realize, on the side of the road, the law enforcement is not your friend. Don't laugh and talk with them. Don't do no small talk, because the less you say, the less you have to defend later on. And a lot of us, we don't think of it like that, but they can use your words against you. So don't say nothing, except I need you to call your supervisor, because I don't feel comfortable, and I'm feeling uneasy about how this is going, with your hands on the wheel and your vehicle and your video already rolling. So if you do that, then you won't have to make a decision Rocky had to make a decision. Am I going to die right here because the man done pulled his gun and he probably going to shoot and kill me because he already going to come up with a justifiable reason in his own eyes? Or am I going to have to try to save my own life and drive off and throw his ass off the side of my truck? And that's what he had to make a decision on. So to find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. It's at eurweb.com. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that the next time that I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. Thank you so much, and you have a super day.